What's going on, Celtics world? It's your boy, the Wayne Breezy, back for another Celtics daily episode live right here on Bleacher Report. And hopefully, we're streaming live on the YouTube channel as well. So, hopefully, that's working. Look, today is Friday. It is Friday the 13th. And you know what's funny? I don't have any had the cool piano, weird, distorted type of sound. Jason is just a like I'm trying to remember like what the music is from Jason. Like I can't remember the dark eerie chords, but it is a spooky eerie Friday. Jack Knox first person in the building. You know she's gonna get the air horn. She already knows. Hey Wayne and Celtics world, what's going on, Jack Knox? Thanks for tuning into the live show, being in the live chat. Truly appreciate it. Listen, on today's episode, we're gonna talk a little bit about free agent targets as well as draft day targets. The NBA draft kicks off June 25th, 26th. The Celtics have a first round pick. They pick 28. And then in the second round, they pick or draft pick 32. I didn't want to use the word pick and getting everybody confused. So first round, pick 28. Second round, pick 32, which is four picks. And so the Celtics can literally look to improve with players at some key positions. You know what I'm saying? And so we're going to dive into that. I think every Friday we'll look into some new prospects that may fit the Boston Celtics. Everything kind of like depends on what the Celtics do once free agency kicks off. Will they look to bring back some players? So today we're going to focus on the big man, my man Luke Cornett. We know we got two bigs that are considered free agents for the Boston Celtics. We've talked about Luke Cornett. We've talked about Al Horford as well. So the Celtics have to make some decisions. The players get to make decisions because the players actually have the choices on where they want to play. So it's going to get a little dry and kind of rough around the edges. And just to remind everybody, that we have tons of players under contract. Now, depending on what the Celtics and Brad Stevens want to do with these players and these contracts, it's up to him. That's up to the team, the whole kit and caboodle. But under contract, guard Drew Holiday. You got guard Peyton Pritchard, Baylor Shireman's under contract, Jordan Walsh, Derek White, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Sam Hauser, Miles Norris, Xavier Tillman, Kristaps Porzingis, and Nime Keita. Like these guys are under contract. As far as the free agents, point guard J.D. Davison, forward Torrey Craig. That's who we brought in last year. Drew Peterson is also a free agent, Al Horford, and Luke Cornett. So I do want to kick today's show off with some free agents. I'm hearing some talks out there in the chatter. And before I get to this free agent question, there was a rumor going on yesterday. I was live on the show and I'm getting text messages from people saying, you guys are the worst. Like, how did you do that? Like, there's no way. I'm getting rumors that the Celtics had signed or traded, for Kevin Durant. And I'm like, no, there's no way. There's no way. We don't have the money to do that. I don't even know how that rumor really got started, man. Unless they literally moved on from a player like Jaylen Brown, and I still don't even think that would have worked. It didn't happen. So I just want to put that rumor to rest. There is no Kevin Durant coming to the Boston Celtics. It's not even in the cards for that to happen. It would have to be a trade. I don't think the money's matched. Just so much just didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? I know that was something that we've been kind of like teetering with, playing around with for past few years, but nah. If anything, I can see him being traded to the New York Knicks. I feel like that's a good possibility. Jax has a question, so I definitely want to get to it because I gotta show the live chat acting type of a person. So if you like that type of a show, welcome. Join the live chat. Feel free. Could there possibly be some players on the bench that can be starters? Great question. It all comes down to what Coach Joe Mazzulla wants to do. So you asked the question, could there possibly be some players off the bench that could be starters? Number one, yeah, PP. Pause. Peyton Pritchard. I think Peyton Pritchard could take the starting position over if Drew Holiday if they do decide to trade Drew Holiday, and if they're able to trade Drew Holiday. I think Peyton Pritchard is ready to be the point guard for the Boston Celtics. You can still leave Derek White as an off-ball two guard, right? And so that wouldn't change much. Then the question is, how do you replenish um, how do you replenish what you got from the NBA Six Man of the Year in Peyton Pritchard? And that's what we're going to get to today when we're talking about some of the free agents that may be available. How do you replenish the minutes, the flow, the 3-point shooting? You're going to lose something, right? And so if there's one player I know that can be a starter from the players from the bench, is Peyton Pritchard. And he's probably the only one that I definitely trust as a starting guy, right? You know what I mean? So it's Pritchard. Now, as far as other players that we have, the Jordan Walshes, the Baylor Shiremans, those guys may get moved in a trade deal. Sam Hauser trade deal. So I they still need development. I'm not gonna lie, man. They're young. They need development. Now, is this the season? And you could check out some of the older episodes. If is this the season where Brad Stevens says, "Hey, Joe, it's time to develop some of these players. I need to see what we got." Could be. We also can bring in some veterans on some vet minimums. And I got a poll question right now that you could participate in. Live poll right on the show. Who should the Celtics target in free agency? And I put a couple of guards up there. You got Russell Westbrook, the 6'4", who I thought currently had one of his best seasons. Like, believe it or not, man, the guy still averaged 13.3 points, 4.9 total rebounds a game. He was averaging 6.1 assists per game. And this is what you want from Westbrook, right? This is what you want from your guy. He shot 32.3% from the 3-point line. And this is what you want. This is what you're hoping to get. Like, I think Westbrook, we know the old Westbrook. And then listen, he's an older player. So we're talking vet minimum. You know, that's what you need. You need that coming off the bench. Not going to cost the Celtics a lot of money. And so you get him on a vet min deal. That'd be good for the Celtics. I mean, the 1 year in Denver, I thought this was one of his best seasons that we've seen him kind of like play the passive style of basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's kind of like him and CP3, Chris Paul. I feel like they're in that same category. And if you can get one of those two types of players to run the point on the vet minimum because you're trading Drew Holiday, I would love it. And these guys will come in off the bench. They're not starting anymore, right? So now you got these guys to come in off the bench. They are veterans. They understand basketball. They understand. Hopefully, they just got to get into what the Celtics way is. But if they're looking to make plays and score if need be, that's what you need. Like, right, that's what you need. So Russell Westbrook would be one of the players. Then I got Ben Simmons up here as well because I feel like, what do I like about Ben Simmons? Not much, but his size. I mean, 6'10", he could run the point, right? And he was supposed to be this NBA phenom. And I'm not saying he's a great player, but I feel like, on a vet men deal, you bring him in here, 6'10" point guard. That's like having a wing play the point guard. He's a great playmaker. At least he shooter. He only averaged 5 points last year. He played in 51 games, averaged 5 points last year, 4.7 total rebounds last year. He did average 5.6 assists, so close to what we were getting from, you know what I'm saying, what you got from Russell Westbrook. But I actually think he might be able to fit here with the Boston Celtics. Might be a place where he actually fits. You know what I'm saying? So let me know what you guys think, man. Coming from the Clippers and the Nets last year, man, this dude probably can come in here, play on a vet men deal, look to run the point off the bench, could potential. I also heard makings of the Celtics getting back Malcolm Brogdon. I don't know how much that is heating up, but if you guys remember, that was a trade we ended up doing, and we ended up getting Malcolm Brogdon at one point. All right, Jackson has another question. We got contracts that need to be handled now. No way we getting KD. Correct. Like, look, the contracts that we have are already handled. All right. So it's not like we need to sign anybody. The issue with the NBA is the money. So our money is tied up with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. You got those two players on max deals. Then you have 1 year left of Kristaps Porzingis at $35+ million, I believe. Then you got the Drew Holiday contract at in the 30+ million. Then you got the Derek White and the 30+ million. So when you add all of those up, you're like, dang, man, next year is going to cost the Boston Celtics about almost $500 million. And so they're clearly over the aprons or the tax bracket or whatever you want to call it. And so they're going to be spending. And so the thing is to find a way to get that money under the apron so they're not hit with these hefty fines, especially when you know you have your number one player recovering from the key. Speaking of recovery, shout out to Jaylen Brown, like literally the day after um the surgery. I mean, the dude's out in like some type of a tank. Like I don't know I don't know what kind of tank it is, but it's really cool to see him in a tank getting healthy like that. Like JB posting, he posted on his Instagram, and I do have the picture, so I'll share it with you guys. Uh, this dude, man, this dude is half man, half amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like half man, half amazing for me. I love Jaylen Brown. I'm hoping that the Celtics don't look to move on from this guy. I feel like he is key to the Boston Celtics championship, and I think he'll be key to another Boston Celtics championship. You can see the thumbs up. I do apologize. Everything's like flickering right now, but I did want to share, probably because there's a video playing. That's probably why. But I did want to share. I don't know what that machine is. It looks like he's on his way to space. Like that's what I'm getting. And if you go to the Celtics page on Twitter, they put him in there, and they got the Vegeta or Goku character. I kind of get them mixed up when they kind of like were recovering. So I asked him, is he J-Ku or is he J-Jita? Like which one is he looking to be? But the thumbs up is cool. You can see him recovering from the little meniscus arthroscopic surgery that he had, and he seems to be in great spirits. He's also supposed to be ready for the NBA Celtics training camp. So that's really good to hear. Speaking of the Boston Celtics, they did post out Derek White is the Celtics defensive player of the year. He is the top shot blocking guard for the third straight season. Yesterday, I did a show on the big three, what you want out there on the basketball court. And that's why you got to figure out if you're going to move on from Drew Holiday. I feel like you need a guy that can generally come in and run something off the bench. I think Peyton Pritchard is ready to take the starting realm. I do understand he's undersized. I don't think that matters, but he is quick. He is tenacious. He knows how to play defense. He can play on ball. He can fight through screens, even with his little body frame. I like Peyton Pritchard. His role will change. Those points will go down. Those 3 points. The question is, do you mess that up? Do you change that up? Do you change it up? Now, Drew Holiday had tons of opportunities to shoot 3-point shots, tons of wide open opportunities. I don't know if Pritchard would get those same opportunities because they know he's a good 3-point shooter. I don't know if it'll change up the flow of the Boston Celtics. And the question is, the $1 million question is, if you remove Peyton Pritchard from the bench, who's going to replace that spark? And that's where it gets a little tricky and iffy. But congratulations to Derek White. Round of applause for the young fella who is he just has ball tracking in his repertoire. Like it's a skill set. Like it's almost like, dude, how do you know when to time to jump to block the shot? Like that's, and we're not talking about like blocking, you know what I'm saying, like guard shots. No, he's blocking center shots. You got a 6'4" point guard, got his height, his vertical must be ridiculous. And he's literally blocking guys that are 7 foot and up shots. That's amazing. Congratulations to Derek White. Continue to succeed, my guy. That's what I like to hear. You know what I'm saying? Love it, love it. And that's why you don't touch it. You don't touch the big three. You know, JB, a healthy JB. I'm almost on my Darkwing Duck stuff. Matter of fact, you're gonna hear this first from me, right? Because you got Jason Tatum. They call him Jason Tatum You know what I'm saying? Superman, he had the promo going for the Superman movie. Unfortunately, he ended up getting injured. How about we call Jaylen Brown the Dark Knight? You know what I'm saying? Like the Dark Knight. Like he returns. Like I imagine having Superman and the Dark Knight, Batman on the same roster. That junk is sexy to me. I don't know what it is. I know they don't really get along. I know they're part of the Justice League, and that's what I like. I feel like the Boston Celtics are the equivalent of the Justice League. Like that's who they are. They have players that fit players. I mean, fit characters from the Justice League. I might actually do a whole episode. I'm not a huge DC fan, but I might actually do a whole episode how or who represents who from the Justice League. I feel like I got it right now. I feel like Peyton Pritchard, to me, he's speedy. So he's probably Flash Gordon. You know what I'm saying? So we got Flash, we got Superman, and we got Batman. All right. I'll figure out some of the other for the starting five as we go along. Jack says, do not break them up. Period. Click, click. There we go. Don't break them up. Don't break them up. Don't break them up at all. You know what I mean? Don't break them up at all. Now, look, the NBA draft, like I said, is on its way. We still got the NBA finals. You got the Pacers leading 2-1. It's going to be over soon. If the Pacers win one more, it's a wrap. Sorry, OKC, you had your shot, and you won't probably get another shot. You know what I'm saying? You won't get another shot. But I will say this. If the Pacers win, well deserved, team well put together, man. You got Halliburton, the Siakam addition was key. They got great role players, and honestly, I would like to see my man. You know what I'm saying? Halliburton, go ahead and get him. Just get him the ring. It's definitely well deserved. He's playing out his mind, closing types of basketball. He's the guy you want the ball in the hand toward the end of the shot. I said that to say it would be cool to keep the O'Brien Trophy here in the Eastern Conference, a conference where they say is the weakest conference, right? That's why a lot of the NBA players moved out to a lot of the Western teams because they wanted to compete. But next thing you know, these Western teams are getting mollywopped and beat up by these weak Eastern Conference teams. I love it. I love it. At first, I was like, I'm not going to go for any team in the Eastern Conference. You know what I'm saying? And then I thought about it and I'm like, wait a minute. They call us weak. Bump that. Ain't nothing weak about the Eastern Conference. And what's going to happen is you're going to see a shift. Mark my words. You're going to see a shift. You're going to see a shift to where these players are going to want to go back to the Eastern Conference to compete. Watch. Just watch how it happens. I promise you it's going to happen. All right, let's get to some draft day targets. Now, again, the Boston Celtics, they draft 28. Now, the Ringer, which is a cool source for NBA Sleeper Celtics, go ahead and give them a follow on Twitter. You can also follow me at the Wayne Breezy. Says the Ringer NBA Draft Guide has Luke Cornett as the main player comp for Creighton's center Ryan Kalkbrenner. We're going to talk about him today. Cornett may get a contract offer. Like we said, he's a free agent that Celtics won't be able to match. You know what I'm saying? And so if he leaves in free agency, Kalkbrenner could be a great replacement. So we're going to break these two players down just a little bit. Now, I do want to say we're going to look at the Ringer. We're going to go through it. They have him pick 32. So second round pick. So I just want to put that out there that they have him as the second round pick, which is pick 32. And I will say this, look, I'm sitting there watching some of this kid's film and I'm like, wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. About the same height, but as far as stronger, like you could tell, like his body type. And I'm like, wait a minute. And he could score. So I'm like, oh, this might be something to really really look into a little deeper. And that's why we're here today, man. I think on Fridays, we're going to look into some of these draft targets because the Celtics have two opportunities as of right now with the first round pick and a early second round pick to add a couple of players to make themselves, you know what I'm saying, deeper and better. Deeper and better. Now, with pick 28, I said we're going to look at the Ringer. Pick 28, the Celtics are looking to draft my guy, my man McNeely out of UConn. You guys know I love him. He's another wing. Look, wings, and wings. That's the Celtics. You want to know what makes up this team? Oh, I can tell you right now. It's wings. And for those that don't know much about him, this dude is a catch and shoot guy. He can hit the three. He can move off the ball. I like the ringer, man. The ringer is pretty cool, breaks down things like that. Now, this is by J. Kyle Mann. McNeely's case as a prospect was undermined during his lone college season in stores. He shoots a beautiful ball, but then you see the percentages and wonder what the heck happened. If you look more closely at his shooting sample, two major factors jump out. So if you want to know what made him kind of like fall, he had a weird in between injuries and just I, I don't know how the Celtics lost that game, but he just, I mean, I don't know how the Huskies lost that game, but this kid just, I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird vibe. First, speed and movement seemed to affect his accuracy during UConn's incredible run in the past 3 years. The Huskies successfully leveraged shooters who could splash in while moving laterally at top speed, kind of like the Celtics, right? That's what they like to do. We talk about the ball movement, but they want to be able to shoot while playing at top speed, right? We don't want to slow anything down. And looking at the Sam Hauser situation, I feel like McNeely plays a little bit better defense. And so if the Celtics are looking to trade or put Sam Hauser in a trade package, this could be a nice little replacement for the Sam Hauser trade. All right. So despite reading screens well and being bigger and younger than the previous option in that role, McNeely didn't meet that standard, converting only 28.6% of these looks. But second, on the more positive side, if McNeely was catching and shooting from the three at a standstill and with any space, he was money. So let's talk a little bit about what the heck that means. Like, so we talk catch and shoot, right? And so what happens is when players, you know what I'm saying? They go around, they set these screens or whatever, they catch the ball. It's just catch and shoot, right? You're not moving and shooting with the ball in your hand, right? We do a lot of catch and shooting. We see a lot of picks, a lot of high pick and rolls from the top of the screen. The ball moves around. The player's just in a spot. They're standing there. Their feet are set. Boom, catch and shoot. You get what I'm saying? It's not necessarily moving and shooting off the screen and trying to create the space. It's almost like the space being created for you, and then the Boston Celtics shoot their shots. Those are what we call higher percentage shots. This kid shoots better when it's a higher percentage shot. Now, the NBA might try to trick him up a little bit to where he struggles. But again, you know, he's not on an NBA team yet, but he could fit the Boston Celtics. If Manili was catching and shooting from the three at a standstill with any space, he was money, 43.1%. It's just that UConn team took a major dip in unguarded catch and shoot looks compared to Dan Hurley's past two national championship squads and a more balanced offense. His real identity as a shooter re-emerged. Less defensible was how he performed inside the arc, as often seemed as a finisher and a decision maker once he was 15 feet of the back shooter archetype, but he too frequently seemed at the mercy of his defender once he reached the paint. Often he jumped awkwardly outside the restricted area. Now, look, if you're getting him in the second round, cool beans. If you get him and say, hey, look at this. You want to know how smart sometimes I am? And I'm not tooting my own horn. Who did I say he can come in here and replace? Do you guys see a name on this screen? I could blow it up for you just in case you don't see it. But do you see a name named Sam Hauser here? I didn't read this or pre-read this. That's not what I do. Like we learn on the fly, right? Sam Hauser. Go figure. And I wonder if Sam struggled because it was too much movement where he had to make a dribble. He had to do this, he had to do that. And the next thing you know, it just messed up his shot where he is a catch and shoot type of a person. So replace Sam Hauser with another type of a Sam Hauser, if that's what you're going to be doing. If you're moving on from Sam Hauser, then you probably want to look at McNeely out there to replace what you're going to want. You want a shooter. You want a three-point shooter. Look, 41.3% from the arc, off of screens, off of standstill shooting. Give it to me, baby. Celtics have lots of open looks. They're leaving players wide open, and sometimes we just not hitting those shots. Get a player that can come here and nail the wide open shot. He's only 19 years old. He'll be 20 years old. He's 214 pounds. His wingspan is ridiculous, and he's 6'7", almost 6'7". So this is another wing. Look, you're not gonna have Jason Tatum. You're gonna need to bring in some more wings. That's what you're gonna need to look at. Now let's get to that second round pick that I was discussing. Ryan Kalkbrenner, right? Ryan Kalkbrenner. Now, the first thing that stood out to me is this kid can protect the freaking rim. Okay, that's what he does, and I think he's a better post presence than what Luke Cornett is in the NBA coming out of in the post. I mean, this kid averages 19 points per game, and he has trended upwards every single season. All right. You go back to Creighton, his big kick from Creighton out in the Big East. Freshman year, he was averaging only 5.9 points per game. And then sophomore year, 13.1. Junior year, 15.9. And then he had 2 senior years, so 17.3 in his final fifth year. 19.2. He made just about every award accolade you can name: NCAA All Region, 3-time All Big East, 3-time All Big East Tournament, 4-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year. 7 feet. He's about 200 and they have him 235, but I think he's way bigger than that. I think he's about 250, if I'm not mistaken. As of right now, I think that's what he tested at the combine. But look, this kid can pack a post presence for the Boston Celtics. He's a lob threat. There's so many things that you would love about this kid. Check him out, man. Ryan Kalkbrenner. Let's go ahead and break him down per the Ringer, and let's read a little bit about him so you guys can get a little bit more insight on who he is and what he is able to do. Gonna move myself up here at the top. All right, so here's the scouting report by Kyle Mann. 7 feet, 257. He's almost 24 years old. His wingspan is 7 feet, 6 inches. You can see that. Shot blocking is what you're going to get. Now, before any points to Zach Edey as a success story for the gigantic players who primarily play drop defense and have heavy dependence on post play on offense. And I want to see if I can get this more in the screen. So let me do that like that. Perfect, Wayne. Perfect, Wayne. I'm learning. Be aware that Kalkbrenner, while similarly skilled and balanced, moves at a more glacial pace than Edey. So if you remember, Edey was the big, and he's in the NBA now. He just moves better. This kid moves better. All right. So that right there is a nice little difference in the two. Luke Cornett might be a better comp, less quick twitch, more quick stand twitch. Kalkbrenner has legitimate size. He's a hassle to navigate around a screener. He's deceptively nimble when getting to the rim on drives and has a simple and effective enough repertoire around the rim to garner attention, right? All right, because so what's going to happen first? He's probably going to finish around the rim. And then after that, people are going to they're going to have to defend him because he's going to score. In all likelihood, he'll be battling for a spot in the late rotation on the roster altogether in this NBA job market, but functioned well for Greg McDermott in a complex offensive scheme for 5 seasons at Creighton. While he might be a simple proposition, he's a safe one. If the Celtics can get him in round 2 at pick 33, and look at that name right there, like Luke Cornett, like this is the comp, like that's the comp, Luke Cornett. This could be a really good key addition for the Boston Celtics. Now you don't have to pay money for a guy that fit your system. You can go and replace him with a guy like him that can fit your system with a draft pick. That's what this is all about, right? That's what this is all about. How can the Celtics find ways to save money? Now, would the Celtics love to bring back Cornett? For sure. But he probably priced himself out, especially after having that crazy game where he had like 9,000 blocks and 17 points. It was ridiculous. I'm just like a 20 plus points. It was, I don't even remember. I just know it was a crazy game. We were like, yes, he was finishing around the rim. You can find that. I'm getting excited because I'm saying to myself, okay, there's an option if we move off from my man Luke Cornett. There's an option. This kid shot 34.4% from the 3-point line. I'll take it. Give it to me. Give it to me. He's averaging almost 9 total rebounds, so 8.7. Give it to me. So we got a guy that can get rebounds. We got a guy that can block shots. You got a guy that can stretch the floor and shoot the 3. Give it to me. You know what I mean? Give it to me. So if you guys need a little bit more info on Kalkbrenner, man, make sure you guys go ahead, check him out. I think he would be a great addition to the Celtics bigs, him and Kata. And that does not mean that we don't look for a free agent big, possibly another veteran, or we include somebody in the trade. I don't know how the Celtics are going to pan out their whole, cap situation. But at the end of the day, the draft is coming. And there's some players that they can get. You can get you a wing, which, come on now. We already know that he's going to go with the wing. Like we know that is Brad Stevens' MO. It really started with Danny Ainge, in my opinion. It was wing, wing, wing. It was Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Back-to-back wings, right? Like, boom. And now with Brad Stevens, we're seeing a lot of wings too. What are we going to get from Jordan Walsh? What are we going to get from Baylor Shireman? I mean, that's to be determined. But why not keep replenishing with the wing experiment? I feel like it's working. You're getting size, you're getting speed, you're getting size without losing speed, right? And I think that's what's key. You have size without losing speed. And so when you're talking about perimeter defense, you're talking about that stuff like that, that helps out because they got the length, they got the size, right? And they got speed to keep up, fight over screens and stuff like that. So we'll see what's going to in store for the Boston Celtics as they continue to move forward and get closer to the draft. Again, I'm going to shoot the air horns to Jack Knox, who was in the live chat and commented the whole. Hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Sunday is your day. I want you to treat it like it's a Mother's Day and enjoy every single second of the day. Love you guys. Celtics World all day. Until next time, man. Keep it up. Peace.